A bunch of you have been anxious about this moment that you finally get to get up here and be unleashed, right? Unleash that voice, that gift that God has put in you. Today, what we're going to do is you're going to get up here and do your talk, right? We got 18 minutes, so let's keep it within the time frame that we allocated. Come up. When you come up, I want you to announce the name of your speech, right? So let everybody know what you're going to talk about, and then just let it rip, man. Be yourself. That's the only way it works. And I want to read a verse that when I was doing my study this morning that applies to this right here. God is always on point and on time, right? Proverbs 18:20, it says, "A man's stomach shall be satisfied from the fruit of his mouth, from the produce of his lips he shall be filled. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it shall eat the fruit thereof." Come on, somebody. Today, couldn't have been a better calling. And then, right, I read out this other book every single day. It's a scriptural topic book. And check this one out. Right, Jeremiah 5:14, this is what it says. It says, "Wherefore thus said the Lord God of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and his people wood, and it shall devour them." Come on, somebody. Anybody ready to be set on fire?
Yeah.
Okay. I pray that this same fire that is mentioned in this scripture is ignited in you. But you get out there and do your thing. So I'm going to turn this thing over to you today. I do my thing tomorrow. So I'm going to let every one of you get up here and do your thing today. So, number one, kicking us off today is VD. Are you ready, brother?
The poet, the world renowned. But listen, today, what we're doing is it's all encouragement. We want to keep this environment positive, encourage, uplifting, inspiring, where everybody feels free to get up here and do their thing. So let's make sure if anybody gets to struggling, let's encourage them. Let's make them know that it is okay to be themselves in this room, okay? I'm going to turn it over to y'all.
Thank you, Dr. Billy.
Man, how you guys doing?
Good.
Woo! Number one, huh? It's meant to be. Be the one. All right, my talk today is called Silence is Compliance. On April 30th, Saigon, the capital of South Vietnam, was captured, effectively ending the Vietnam War. 10 years later, I was born in Oakland, California. It took a lot of hard work and sacrifice for my parents to raise my siblings and I in this foreign country. So one day over dinner, I just had to ask my mom, what was the single greatest tool you had to succeed in America as a Vietnamese refugee? She simply said, the ability to speak English, to express yourself. And if you have that, you can do anything. It's about speaking up. It's about learning new languages, acquiring new skills, asking for help, seeking the right questions. Who here has had those moments where you wish you had said something, but missed the opportunity? You end up regretting not saying anything at all. And when you choose to say nothing, you pretty much agree with the inaction of that moment. You must live with your decisions. You are compliant with your choice. In other words, silence is compliance. What helped me express myself was when I discovered spoken word poetry. Spoken word poetry is an alternative active platform that allows for artistic expression. Spoken word creates space for me to be heard, to express in ways that you wouldn't be able to with just conversation. I was able to break my silence and share with the world who I truly am. And a lot of speaking up is being uncomfortable, being open up to and scared to talk about your pain, your demons, your struggles. Poetry offers the tool to write about it, to express it, to feel it, and most importantly, to share it and overcome it, to transfer your pain into pens, onto paper, from pages to stages. My mom always expressed herself and her desire to speak English. So much so, I began to lose my native language in speaking Vietnamese and became insecure about it. I was even given an English name. You guys ready for this? Robinson. Robinson, isn't that a last name too? We have to blend ourselves into this American condiment. Fish sauce is way too strong. They're gonna give you salty looks. We gotta make it easy for you, for them. You see, I grew up with mixed identities. I referred to myself as Robinson outside the house and Van Dahl inside, but I was one and the same. I was born to two Vietnamese refugees who wanted to work and attend college, but there were no babysitters available to tend to us. And so my native tongue was uprooted and overgrown by weeds. I can still remember when being judged for not speaking Vietnamese, as if I had a major flaw, as if my parents did not raise me right. Those condescending eyes that will flood my confidence. Well, action speaks louder than words. And so I hold my tongue and volunteered myself to wash the dishes and hopefully all sins forgiven. Still, his parents failed to teach him our native tongue. Look, I understand the importance of our language and our culture, but look how far we've come. Vietnamese refugees start at the bottom so that they can take selfies at the top. You wanted a better life for your kids. Here it is. I am the product of that American dream. Judge me by my accomplishments and not by the fluency of my Vietnamese. If my mom had never escaped, if my mom had never came home tired and stench in nail polish and acetone, if my mom never skipped dinner so that we all could eat, if my mom never took on the role as a single mother after my dad passed away due to what I believe was due to so many stressors, funny how ironic, you escaped Vietnam to come here, to die here with all of this pressure. If my mom never spoke to us in English every single day to better read and write, to navigate this new life, then I wouldn't be here today. A college graduate with a great career, a husband and a father who served this country for years. My mom's hunger to learn English was so potent. It filled our home like the aroma of shrimp paste, ripe durian, fish sauce spilled all over a white carpeted staircase. She is the embodiment of a hardworking American and can speak for herself. My mom is more American by choice than I will ever be by birth. And so, get up to my mom. I learned a lot from my mom in expressing herself and expressing myself, but I also learned a lot from my dad in not doing so. In 2000, my dad sat us down to have a family meeting. He ended up apologizing for his shortcomings as a father. He really had a bad temper. And not only did I dread school bullying, but I was met with a lot of yelling and strict Asian discipline at home. You know, I love my dad, but honestly, sometimes I was afraid of him. How does this tie into this talk about speaking up and expressing yourself? Well, during his apology, my dad broke down crying. We could tell it was very hard for him to open up the way he did. My dad buried his guilt so deep that it was released in painful, audible tears. It was the first time I saw him cry. The following months were the happiest we've been in a long time. We even joined a canoe team as a family and won several races. It was a magical summer. But all of that was soon cut short with news of my dad's stomach cancer. He passed away just several months later that year in November. I'm glad that in those short months, we found closure. My dad's strength in displaying his vulnerability gave me strength to open up to my bullies. I realized that his years of silence had held him back from being the best father. Who knows, if he had opened up to us years earlier, we would have had many more magical summers. The day after my dad passed, I actually dreamt of him. And as I was crying at his feet, he looked at me and said, "My blood runs through yours." I vowed from that moment on to live my life to the fullest. At the end of my senior year, I got into a good college, but instead, I decided to put that on hold and enlist in the United States Marine Corps. I know we got some of us here tonight too. When I came home from Iraq in 2009, I was filled with so much gratitude. I was grateful for my life. I was grateful for my legs. I I was grateful for just continuing college and for actually meeting my wife later that year. But nothing could have prepared me for the realities of war. In 2017, I came home late one night after volunteering at a mental health organization in San Francisco. As I was getting ready for bed, a rush of emotional catharsis just took over my body and brought me to my knees. I started crying hysterically, waking up my wife. It was in that moment when I finally broke my silence about my actions in Iraq. I had been harboring my trauma for 8 years. The delayed PTSD had finally set in and took over my life for years after. I was seeing dark. I was having suicidal ideations. I spiraled out. I became short-tempered. I was failing as a husband and a father. I was turning into my dad again. Panic attacks shook me to my bones. I was having more frequent nightmares, one of which I was trying to kill my newborn son. I was trying to grab his head, and as much as I was trying to bash his head into the ground, I couldn't kill him. I woke up so disturbed and just fell into my wife's arms. And I knew from that moment, what I got from it is that maybe I was trying to kill off a certain part of me that I needed to let go in order to heal and break the cycle. I finally decided to look for professional help. I sought out for therapists through the VA to get my mind right. I hired a professional trainer to get my body to its peak performance. I went on a spiritual journey through plant medicine to find peace. And on my journey through mind, body, and soul, I was able to find myself again. My future was looking bright. And I used to question whether or not I would make it. Now, what's probable is now possible. My therapist said, if you want to live your life to the limitless, you have to follow your feelings to the fullest. I said, okay, floodgates open, here we go. I locked myself in rumination. In my tears, I swear I can flood the ocean. I can drown in my emotions. Somebody throw me a lifeline. I'm not sure how much more I can tread. But you know what? I will. I will dive deep and dedicate. I will meditate to devastate my state of mind, to unwind these wounds, coils, and knots that turns my stomach into rocky roads. I want to breathe freely. I really do. Break the cycle, put me through the ringer, then turn it again on high heat with extra rinse. I'm cleaning myself up. This act has got to go. I binge watched this show. I could not stay calm. Here comes another episode. And when I lay my head to rest, I want to know that I gave my best. My pillow soaked, my tears ready to break in silence, ready to be wrung out, raining all this pain. Understand that when I say you and me, it's not just us. When I say us, I hope you know what I mean. It's you, me, myself, and I. I hope you love all three of us, because some days I'm good, some days I'm bad, some days I'm in between. If I had stayed silent any longer, who knows where I would be today. And to find more purpose in my life, I reached out to my kid's school principal and joined the PTA. My daughter's sitting there right now. And for the next 3 years, I took on the role as PTA vice president and president. Simultaneously, I planted myself into my kids' grassroots soccer and took on the role as head coach for 4 years. It has been the most rewarding times of fatherhood. There is a rush of liberation and confidence in knowing that you are open and willing to do what it takes for you, your family, and your community. And as a husband, I agreed to continue couples therapy to navigate this marriage and to better communicate. This year, I'm proud to say that we celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary. And my wife's gift to me was this speaker's course with Dr. Billy Alsbrooks. Thank you. I have to say, the best thing that I ever did in my life was to recognize my weakness and therefore finding strength in my vulnerability. To reflect back on my dad's apology and learn from his mistakes. I encourage everyone to speak from your heart. Our hearts already know the melody to the song our minds haven't heard the words to yet. It's up to you to speak it out into existence. And you might ask yourself, what is wrong with staying silent? Well, studies show that by not speaking, your mind may lead to suppressing your emotions. It can lead to negative impacts on your mental and physical health. This could result in low self-esteem, even depression, anxiety, nightmares, resentment, regrets. Please, don't run from living out your best life. I hope that one day, when people decide to run, you choose to stay. Stand up, speak up, don't stop, but yield. Be true and be real. We know it's tempting to follow the trends, but don't bend, don't break. Try to give more than take. People can go on their entire lives saving face rather than saving their butt. Trust me, you put up a front, you get stabbed in the back. So be the first to say what's on your mind. Be the one to tell your friends the truth, even if they deny. Be the first to hold opportunity's door, no matter if they're rich or poor. Be the one to say hello, then pick up the litter. Be the one to work till dawn, so that later you can sleep in till dusk. It reveals character and success. Just ask any one of us. Because one day, you'll transform into your optimum prime. There is no alternate time. In this life, there is only one time. One time to say thank you to those that got you through. One time to live a life with no regrets. So be the first to say I'm sorry. Be the one to say I forgive you. Be the first to say you're welcome. Be the one to say I'm sorry. And I love you. And I love you too. Confidence is what we lack. Confidence is what we lack. Reciprocity is what we need to unlock our soul screen, not your phone screen. That won't love you back. To love and to be loved, it's like feeling the warm sun hit your forehead, closed eyes, bloodshot red, and at the same time, feeling the sun rays on the back of your neck. You'll truly know when you love someone more than you love yourself. Because with them, you could never get enough, but without them, it's gonna be so damn tough. The roads ahead will be rough. And yeah, it's true, the path less poured and paved will make you much more and brave. But there will be days when you're stuck in the mud like a nail in the stud and make you want to give up. But you can't. Do not quit. You have to try again and again and again and again. And it all seems too familiar, but if you truly try your best, there's no such thing as failure. You either succeed or you gain, because in and of itself is a gain. So try again. So screw that nail. Be the stud. Tear down your walls. Take the road. Just make sure it's a high one. And when you climb to the top of all that rubble, remember to embrace the view. Sit down and be humble. The joys in this life are infinite. There's enough to go around if you carry a positive mindset. And if it ever gets too complicated, speak up. We'll help you navigate it because it's worth it. It's in your blood, love. And just remember that special person is watching you from above, love. Or you'll know one day when you walk in our shoes. But right now, we can't wait to feel yours. Right now, no matter how rich or poor, right now, no matter how unjust the war, right now we love you just the way you are. No less, no more. Right now, let's live in the gift of present. And my words are my gift to you. And so leaders, it all boils down to this. Will you digest these words? Can you stomach it and swallow your pride? Don't starve yourself from this life because closed mouths don't get fed. And it can get uncomfortable, but let me share you this quote from Brene Brown about embracing vulnerability. You could choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot choose both. Silence is compliance. So speak up to receive the ultimate version of you that will feed your soul and watch just how much your world will embrace you for it. Believe me, I know. Because I once asked my mom, what was the single greatest tool you had to achieve success in America as a Vietnamese refugee? She simply said, the ability to speak English, to express yourself. And if you have that, you can do anything. Thank you.